In this video, I'm going to be going over the solutions for the 5 questions for week 2, term 3 for Wednesday. Question 1 asks us to solve log base 2x is equal to 16. Now, I can't really work with that too well, so I'm going to note that it's in BAP form, B-A-P, and then I'll rewrite it. So my base is 2, my power is 16, and my answer is x. Now all I need to do is type into the calculator 2 to the power of 16, and I get x is equal to 65,536. Easy and straightforward, but only if you can do the BAP thing first. Next, question 2 is to solve 3 to the power of x equals 72. Not sure what x is, and I don't feel like doing guesswork, so I'm going to change it into BAP form. So I'm going to have the base, the power, and the answer. So I'm going to have log base 3, a is 72, and the p is x. Now I can't type that straight into the calculator, but I can if I change it, change the base, so I will. So log 7 base 10 72, changing to base 10 so I can type it into the calculator. Log base 10 3, remember the larger number, the higher number is on top, and the smaller, lower number is on the bottom, and that will equal x. So I'm just going to type that into the calculator. Log 72 over log 3 gives me, and I'm going to 3 decimal places for this, 3.893. That's equal to x. Okay. Question 3 is to factorize 2mn minus 4ms. Well, to remember, to factorize is to add in brackets. So I want to find out what the common factors are. So first of all, I can see that there's a common 2, because this can be divided by 2, and so can this, because we've got 2 and a 4. So I'll take that out first. So I'm going to have 2, and then I'm going to look at letters. I have an M in common here and an M in common here. So I'm going to take that out as well. So when I take them out, 2mn, if I get rid of the m and I divide it by 2, I'm going to be left with just 1n. So I'll just write that as n. Then we've got a minus 4, which if I divide that by 2, I'm going to have minus 2. And ms divided by m will just be s. So that is 2mn minus 4ms factorized into 2m outside of n minus 2s. Remember, you can always check by expanding, by timesing those two things and expanding it out that way. And if you get the same thing as here, then you've done it correctly. For question 4, given a is equal to 7, b is equal to 8, and capital C is equal to 45 degrees, find capital A. So, and it says when A is equal to half AB sine C. So I'm going to substitute those values in. So I'm going to have A is equal to 1/2, and I like to do brackets, but you can do times if you'd like. Brackets 7, brackets 8, and sine 45. Okay. All right, I'll just type that into the calculator. So half times 7 times 8 times sine 45, and I get A is equal to 19.799, so I'll go to 3 decimal places for that. So I'll just write that there, 3 decimal places. Should probably add that up here. This was to 3 decimal places as well. Now for question 5, it asks us to graph y equals x plus 1 and y equals minus 2x plus 1 and find the point where they intersect. Now for this, we're going to have to draw 2 lines, so I'm going to label them both. So I'm going to have 1 and 2. Actually, I'll label 2 in blue just so we can have clearly obvious which one is which. So starting off with 1, I'm going to have to do a table of values, okay? Now, you don't have to do a table of values. I said have to, but you really, however you like to graph a line, you can. Table of values, most people tend to like that the most. I like to do it between -1 and 1 and have 3 points. So, looking at this, this equation here, when x is minus 1, and then we add 1, we'll get 0. When x is 0, and we add 1, we get 1. And when x is 1, and we add 1, we get 2. Okay, so that's nice. We can then plot that line, so we'll do it now. So when x is negative 1, we go up 0, so it's just going to be this point here. When x is 0, we go up 1, so that's going to be our next point. And when x is 1, y is 2, so that's our next point. Should also mention it's important to label our axes, so I'll just do that now. You'll notice I wrote it ahead of time, that's just to save time. Okay, and we'll just connect those dots and we extrapolate them, which is to send them out further on either side. And then we end them with the arrows. I'll then label it to finish that off. X plus 1. Next, I'm going to do a table of values again, but for my second equation. It's important to label your table of values like this if you do it this way, because then you're showing the marker when in like a test, and also for yourself, which one goes with which. So, 2 is a bit more of a complicated equation, but what I like to do is I just type into the calculator minus 2 brackets plus 1, so wherever there is x, we change the x to a brackets. It's kind of like the x is separated itself. And so in this case, we're going to just chuck in minus 1 in there. So I'll type that into the calculator. When it's minus 1, we get 3. When it's 0, we get 1. When it's positive 1, we get negative 1. Now we'll plot that on the graph. So when x is negative 1, y is 3. So that's my first point. 0, we get 1. And 1, we get negative 1. Okay. Now I'll connect those dots there. Like that. Do the arrows, extrapolate it out to make sure that it's all there. Because it keeps on going. Just because we've only found 3 points, there's actually an infinite number of points. And then I label the line. Now, the part of the question that we haven't answered is, and find the point where they intersect. So the point where they intersect is here. Now, we actually noticed that here, because they shared the same points. But it asked us to graph, so we actually had to do the full graph anyway. So, because this is the point of intersection, I'm just going to write point of intersection. And then I'll label it. I'll label it on the graph, but you can just say it nice and big somewhere else, that's fine, which is at 0, 1. This is the point of intersection there. And like I said, you can write it elsewhere, so I might write that the point of action is 0, 1, and then I might highlight it, just so I know that where the answer actually is, that type of thing, because it can get a bit messy, especially with the space that I've left for myself. Anyway, that's the 5 questions. We're starting a new topic today, which is on graphs. So if you can please make sure you write a heading before you start the next video, that would be awesome. All right.